Hey there, crypto traders, checking in on the sector. We're starting off the week with a bit of weakness. We're seeing bullish headlines having no positive impact on price, and that is having everybody prepare for potential another leg to the downside. That being said, there's certainly many instances where everybody's looking in one direction and we quickly move in the other direction. So we need to establish those game plans and stick to them. I'll show you what my ETH game plan is, and I'll show you the key levels that I'm watching on Bitcoin. So currently we have the daily equilibrium continuing to tighten up, and it has not broken yet. We set a higher low this weekend, and right now we're seeing no bull follow through from that higher low. So when we last checked in, we knew a daily lower high was the most likely scenario. It has formed, and now we had an inside bar bull break, and that bull break lacked any follow through. The midway point between 34.8 thousand and our last daily lower high of 39.5 thousand is about 37.2. We did not make it to the midway point. If we drop down and break 34.8 thousand, we're just looking at our three little supports down towards 30,000. The bears have complete short-term control. We know the burden of proof is on the bulls to confirm a trend change and see bounce follow through. And if they do not do that, the bears remain comfortable. So we're in a scenario right now where the bears are remaining comfortable. We had an hourly falling wedge-like pattern yesterday that ended up seeing a little bit of upside. And this is a pattern that I was watching, and there were a bunch of altcoins that had similar, that's about where it was. A bunch of altcoins had similar tightening, declining patterns. We broke it bull, we back tested and held it, saw a little bit of follow through, and really what caused the bulls to roll over today? We've had two bullish news events. We had El Salvador adding at the BTC conference, BTC as legal tender. That didn't really see a reaction in price. And now what we have today is MSTR, Michael Saylor, news that they are going to raise an additional 400 million for buying Bitcoin. We rejected from resistance with a double top on that news and then rolled over. If we're not going to break bull on bull news, the bears are going to use that as an opportunity to pounce. And they did with an hourly double top and break of support. So anything under 36.8 thousand will just be an hourly lower high next time we bounce. The daily time frame, we're looking down at that 34.8 thousand key short-term level, and if it breaks, the bears resume their complete control. I personally find it a lot easier to enter on consolidation in this current market. If I'm looking bullish, I am not entering bull breaks. Why? Because when you're in a downtrend on the weekly, daily, 4-hour, and hourly time frame, a bull break on one time frame just means you're zooming out and looking for a lower high on a longer term time frame. Even if we get a daily bull break, we know it just means zoom out and scout a weekly lower high. I don't like the risk to reward of those scenarios. If I'm going to be waiting for a Bitcoin bull break to make an entry over 39.5 thousand, where does my stop loss go? The daily support level is 34.8. And if I'm entering on a 39.5 bull break, there's nothing anywhere nearby to use as a stop level. Whereas the opposite is if I'm entering on consolidation, I'm using the daily support levels. And the last trades, the only trades that I've taken in cryptocurrency in the last 3 weeks, maybe even a month at this point, have been extreme oversold bounces, which is my bread and butter as a trader, or entering on consolidation where it was Link, where I got the daily higher low 2 weekends ago. And just this past weekend, I entered a little bit of ETH. We'll talk about that in just a second. And again, I'm entering on consolidation with support in play, and that makes my risk smaller, and it makes the reward bigger if we do end up getting the bull break. So bears have short-term control. Burden of proof is on the bulls. 36.8, clear double top at this point, and we can say a very simple statement for the rest of this week. If 36.8 thousand is resistance on Bitcoin, the bears have complete short-term control. Simple statement. That will be the case. So we could see another leg down here, and it will all then be about 30,000. And if 30,000 breaks, I personally will be looking to play oversold bounces again and looking to scale in using a bit more of my capital because I am more competent trading extreme oversold conditions. At that point, the weekly RSI will be approaching oversold. and that will be my next trade to be watching for. Dominance chart still doesn't mean anything to me, so I don't even look at it these days. I'm just looking at individual coins and their BTC pairings for information. ETH is a lot stronger than Bitcoin, but it's not going to get any bull follow through unless Bitcoin gets a bull break of its daily equilibrium. The ETH equilibrium, low, high, higher, low, double top, higher, low. Inside bar, well, not by a couple dollars, but I treated this as an inside bar bull break. We would have to get over 28.90 and 29.14 if we were going to get follow through. And again, Bitcoin's just dragging us down right now. So the trade that I entered over the weekend was, okay, I'm scouting a daily high or low. I was watching this hourly setup. What resistance was I watching? Probably just this channel. I don't like how this is sticking out here, but it was something along these lines. More of a channel than a wedge. Either way, no, it was this. At that point in time, we had rejected. Anyways, I was looking for a daily high or low, and I liked this hourly equilibrium. I believe my entry was here. So we had resistance, support, which is an hourly high or low, lower high. I entered on this consolidation with an entry at 27.10, held support, got our bull break, and it's a small position size. Why is it small? I'm not confident in the bulls. I want a position where if we break bullish, I will benefit. Right now, I'm almost back at break even, and I will stop out of that position if we see a bear break of 25.52, because that would be a break of the daily high or low, and the next clear support would be down at 21.82. That's too far away. So just as an example, with entering on this consolidation, when the daily high or low is shaping up, my stop now, I'm risking $160 to the downside, and if we were to get a bull break of 28.90, I would already be in $180 of profit, more than what my risk is before we even get any follow through. And then of course, there's the potential that we get some follow through and those gains then become more significant. So again, I personally find it much easier to enter consolidation. A lot of people don't, because a lot of newer traders, when you're seeing weakness, that's not the time you think you want to be buying. But if you look at, what am I thinking of? Even just Theta USDT. Look at the 15-minute time frame the last multiple weeks. What happens when the RSI hits 30 or goes right under 30? The answer is, in the last 2 weeks, the best time that you can be buying bullish on Theta is 15-minute oversold conditions. When we're in 15-minute oversold conditions, things look really weak. It looks like the bears have complete control. But every single time that RSI is hit 30 or just above it or just below it, we then bounce shortly after. And again, my style is selling partial. I just did it on NVDA in stocks today. Traded this is all-time highs. We dumped 15-minute waterfall oversold conditions. I was watching the 2-minute time frame. I make my initial entry at 688.80, and I sell on this 2-minute. I sell half on this 2-minute bounce, 6 whatever. Now my break even is under the low of the day at that point. I stick my stop under the low of the day. I have zero risk, and I'm looking for a 15-minute oversold bounce to play out. I do the exact same thing on crypto using different time frames. So if I'm trading Theta USDT and I'm playing a 15-minute oversold bounce, I'm selling half into a 15-minute lower high to drop my break even lower than where we just hit. And if we see a lower high and lower low, I stop out, break even, no big deal. And if we don't and we keep recovering, I have an ideal great entry. And that is how I'm trading the cryptocurrency space personally at this point in time. And I've been trading it way less. I've essentially had 2 trades in the last 9 days. The Link daily high or low, which was a week maker, and now the ETH daily high or low, which is break even at the moment. And either way, excuse me, either way, it won't be significant one way or the other. You know, it'll be a day maker or a 2-day maker. If we break bullish, it'll be a 3/4 day loser if we break bearish. It's just giving myself a little bit of exposure, but again, not an area where I'm confident going aggressive. ETH BTC chart is why I chose to trade ETH on this consolidation for an entry. It's in a daily uptrend, and we're looking back at the recent high. We're not that far away from that level, 824. The weekly time frame is potentially setting a lower high. What would be a scenario where the BTC pairings on altcoins would set weekly lower highs? If the pattern that has been playing out for the last month continues, the setup would be cryptocurrency dumping, altcoins dumping faster than Bitcoin, setting weekly lower highs on these BTC pairings. That's a possibility. If that happens, we get a weekly equilibrium on ETH BTC. If not, the bulls are strong and they've got a daily uptrend, and we're looking back at that resistance level. ADA USDT has been a lead bull as well, but it's the same thing. We're scouting a weekly lower high. Honestly, as I'm saying this right now, this is shifting my probability needle to increase the odds of a bear break on BTC, because I feel that the BTC pairings on these altcoins, most likely scenario is weekly lower highs. And what's a scenario where Bitcoin goes up and we set weekly lower highs on these charts? That means Bitcoin's going up faster than altcoins. News isn't doing it. We haven't seen that happen anytime recently, so I don't think that's going to happen. Really, what the only alternative scenario that could lead to a Bitcoin bull break would be just the fact that these BTC pairings haven't topped out yet, and we could see another week of upside. But I'm looking for weekly lower highs on these BTC pairings. Losing the daily higher lows would be the first indication. So if 160 breaks on ADA, I'm not on the BTC pairing. All right, scratch all that. These BTC pairings can break bullish. I thought we were further. I'm expecting a weekly lower high on the US dollar pairing. The BTC pairings can break bullish. So that shifts things. I was wondering why am I just noticing this now? So scratch that, start over. I'm expecting weekly lower highs on the US dollar pairings of all these altcoins, but the BTC pairings could break bull with where we stand. We're close enough to resistance where that is a possibility. And we're just watching the daily higher lows on both pairings. So it's 4418 on ADA BTC. If that level breaks, it will be a weekly lower high, which is possible. If we keep the daily uptrend, we're testing the high of 50.49. And again, same thing on the US dollar pairing, daily higher low, forming here at 160. If we break 160, odds of a weekly lower high being set will increase. And bulls will then be looking for a weekly higher low to form, keeping in mind that some altcoins have seen a significant enough bull move in the last couple weeks that even if Bitcoin breaks 30,000, the strongest altcoins could potentially still set a weekly higher low. And we'll know a lot more about those probabilities when we see, if Bitcoin drops down and it's at 32.8 thousand, where are these altcoins compared to their lows? And there will be a scenario where they could possibly we could make plays off of weekly support. If Bitcoin dumps down and breaks 30,000 and sees a quick little flush into a bounce, there's the potential that ADA BTC holds, or ADA USDT holds 101, and we can make a play off that support level. That's something to keep an eye on as well. BNB has been standing out with some strength, confirmed daily trend change, and it was the BTC pairing leading the way. If we drop down and break 0.01, a weekly lower high will be shaping up. If we lose daily support of 365, a weekly lower high will potentially be forming. I like this 4-hour time frame right now. Look how tight that is. That's a beauty. Trying to hold it. And this tells me that volatility is incoming to Binance sometime in the next 24 hours. We should see a volume spike and a clear bear break or bull break from this tightening 4-hour range. Potentially watching for clues on the BTC pairing, which is still holding the 4-hour higher lows. If it loses the 4-hour higher lows, that'll be a point in favor of the US dollar pairing, USDT pairing, breaking bear as well. Link has been showing some relative weakness. That's why I traded ETH this weekend instead of Link, which I traded last weekend. So low, high, higher low, lower high. Bulls must hold 2372. Daily inside bar bull break with 0 follow through. And if we break 2606, the bears will resume their complete control. The Link BTC pairing gave us some clues. It started daily consolidation just a wee bit before the US dollar pairing did. It's in a daily equilibrium in the same way that the US dollar pairing is. And bulls would have to show up on both pairings to keep these equilibriums alive. But weekly lower high potentially shaping up. And actually, it's not even a weekly lower high because we never broke the daily resistances bullish. So Link, one of the weaker coins, Matic has been fading as well. Matic is in a daily downtrend. That's a lower high at 198 and a lower low. So the weekly time frame has already given us, well, it's inside bars. If we go to the 2-day time frame, condense it down a little bit, high, low, lower high, and now we're looking all the way back down at 745 for the bulls to try and form a higher low compared to that level. And the BTC pairing rolled over, losing the daily uptrend 4 days ago. The US dollar pairing lost the daily uptrend 3 days ago. There are clues in the BTC pairings. It just was a spotlight bull on the initial bounce, and then it just slowly faded from the spotlight. Dogecoin. Don't know why I put it up here. Something was notable. Scouting a weekly lower high is the most likely scenario. Daily higher lows are key. Anything above 28 is a daily higher low. Big enough range to be scouting an equilibrium. If we hold 28, we're going to look for a lower high compared to 44.8. We can stay range bound on Dogecoin for a while. This is a very wide range. And the BTC pairing, if we drop down and break 1068, nope, make that 975. If that level breaks, it'll be further confirming weakening momentum. Potential weekly lower high being set. So bottom line, it's all about the Bitcoin daily chart. It's all about short-term support of 34.8 thousand. It's all about 36.8 resistance in the short term. That is the double top resistance level. And we will have to get over it if the bulls are going to have any confidence about remaining within this daily equilibrium and tightening range. There are altcoin bulls that are positioned well comparative to Bitcoin. There are altcoin bears that are not positioned well comparative to Bitcoin. There are altcoins that are scouting weekly lower highs. And if Bitcoin breaks bear, we'll be watching for some altcoins to have plays off of support, while Bitcoin will be in a bit of a free fall. Either way, we have to see volume spike for us to know this is a real move. If you are not seeing a volume spike on the daily time frame, Bitcoin is just slowly fading, volume is disappearing. When it is the break of this daily range, we will see more than your 20-day average volume. And look at the last 10 days of trading, 7 days, however many days, not even close to the 20-day average. So we will have to see the volume spikes to believe that a break is going to have follow through in whatever direction it's going to be. And again, just have a game plan for both scenarios. What are you going to do if we break bull in this pattern? What are you going to do if you break bear? If we break bear, I'll stop out of my small positions I have, and I will be all cash waiting to go aggressive on a break of 30,000. Do I know what levels I'm going to be buying? Am I going to be buying 29 and 28.7? I have no idea because I don't know what the short-term time frames look like. Are we bear flagging on the hourly? Is it a free fall drop? Are we oversold on every single time frame? That's why I entered NVDA bullish today, coming off of all-time highs, 15-minute waterfall. RSI was down, just hitting the teens on the 15-minute. The 5-minute RSI was in the low 20s. The 2-minute RSI was just about to hit the teens as well. All of those were the reasons I entered. If you asked me when the bell rang this morning, are you going to play NVDA for a bounce? I would have said I have no idea. So I have to see what the price action looks like when things are happening to determine how aggressive am I going to go, because my aggressiveness playing bounces matches the aggressiveness of bears. If we drop 15% in one day and we're crushed on all time frames, I'm way more aggressive than if we drop 5% over 3 days and get down to that level. So I'll continue to check in as things continue to develop, but for now, have a game plan for both directions. And part of my game plan probably won't be trading BTC on the bounce. I'll be scouting the altcoins that have a support level for me to play off of for a weekly higher low if Bitcoin sees a bear break and heads down towards 30,000. Feel free to ask any questions. Hope you had a good weekend. It was my birthday. It was a good one. That's another reason I wasn't really actively trading. But again, I highlighted it last video. Bitcoin right now is in the tightest range over the last 2 weeks that we've seen at any point in many months, which in my opinion means you should be trading less than you've been trading at any point in the last bunch of months, because less volatility and less volume means less opportunity for trading. Do good things.
I heard and felt a giant flying thing hit me in the back of the head while I was watering. And I find this guy 45 minutes later while sitting at the computer on the back of my head. I was just about to give up and think that she wasn't going to have any babies this year. Alright, the mint and lilac tea was a smashing success, so today we're going to do rhubarb. Cut up the stems, it tastes kind of like a mild lemon, a lot of vitamin C. We're going to do some more mint. Hasn't recovered as much as I would like it to, so I'm going to be a little bit more picky with how much I take. And strawberries.